Hi guys, it's Collin. This week we're making the Parker on the Porch dog bone stocking. So here's my sample here. This is one I made already. This is the 9 by 14. It's a really good size. It's almost as big as like a regular stocking. This is for my dog Meatball, who is the most evil but most adorable little Pomeranian you have ever seen. He is not a good dog. He does not deserve a stocking this big, but he's really cute. So it's okay. I'm going to fill it up with little treats for him. So you can see here that it has a quilted front and it has a pocket on the back and this little hanger right here where you'd hang it. So this is a pattern from a couple years ago. It's really great. It's really simple and quick to make. It's one of my favorites. This right here is a new one that'll be releasing this week. This is a little bag tag. So I just stuck it on here, and you could put some ribbon or something cute. I didn't have any ribbon on hand, so I didn't do anything cute, but I stuck it on here right here, and it looks really good. So we're going to make this today in the hoop. I'm going to use this cute little fabric. This is going to be featured on Fat Quarter Friday tomorrow from Parker on the Porch. It's in this line too. So my bad little dog is going to have not one but two stockings, and my husband will cry, but it's okay. So we have the front fabric, I have my back fabric, I have my batting, of course, and oops, then we have the back pocket. So this right here is a pocket, so it's lined all the way through, so you stick your hand in, and it has a pocket to stick in the treats. So this is our back pocket fabric, which I have folded in half. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go. And here is my fake bias tab for the loop. Mine's not super long because of how I hang the stockings at my home. You could cut this to be any length that you wanted, or you could use ribbon, you could use felt, you could do any number of things. So we'll talk about this one. Today we are making the 8 by 8 stocking. So this is a 10 by 10 mighty hoop. I use a multi-needle machine, so my hoops are a little bit different. Yours may look different at home, but it's going to be the same steps for you. So just follow along. I have stitched our first stitch here, which is our placement stitch. So I have rotated mine to fit in my hoop the easier way for me. So the first thing that we're going to do is put down our batting and our top fabric. So I have already cut these and I have already pressed them. So they're ready to go. And I cut mine a little bit wide so that I could place my fabric just how I wanted it, because I want to try and get as many of these cute little cars in there as I can. And it's not going to be perfect because we're making a smaller size stocking, but a few of these are going to be in there and it's going to be great. So I'm going to go to my hoop and I'm going to tack this down, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the next steps. All right, we're back, and I have tacked down the shape of my stocking here. So this is it tacks down our fabric so it doesn't shift while it's quilting. So here you can see there's these two little lines that it's stitched, and those are going to be our placement lines for our back pocket, but we're not going to worry about those just yet. The next step is to do the quilting. So I chose a red because I think a red will stand out a little bit, but not too much, and I think it'll coordinate nicely with this stocking because I'm going to display them together on my mantle. So I will stitch the quilting stitch and then we'll come back and talk about the rest. My quilting is stitched now. You can see the red looks really nice. I think that was the perfect choice. So the next step is going to be that we're going to stitch on this back pocket right here. So this particular bone, since I'm making a much smaller size, I was able to easily cut my fabric to twice the length here and folded it in half. So this is I just pressed it together right here. And there is a cut chart with every Parker on the Porch pattern. You'll get a cut chart. And so you can follow the cuts in there. I cut this one a little bit narrower, but it's, you can follow the cut chart in the pattern. So for this one, I had a big piece of fabric and I was using kind of a velvet scrap that I had. And so I had to make two and I sewed it together. So if you look here, you can see there's a seam line. So if you need to do that, make sure you do that before you start your project so it's ready to go. For this one, we just fold it in half, like I said. So you're going to want to place that right sides down, and you'll line it up here with this line, but you want to get it just a little bit below the line because it's going to start stitching this down here from right below that line. And so if you put it too high up here, see how you can't see those lines? You're not going to be able to open your stocking, and nobody wants that. So go ahead and tug this here and make sure you can see the whole line. I have about a 1/16 of an inch below that line is where I lined up my fabric. So I think you can see it pretty well right there. So the next step is going to stitch this down here, and then it will be time to put on our tab. Now that we have our back pocket sewn down right here, so that we just made this pocket right here, the last thing we'll do is put on this main lining, and we'll do that after we've added our tab. So I went ahead and I stitched the next step, excuse me, and this is the placement for our hanging tab. So again, you could use ribbon, you could use the fake bias tape like I like to use. This is just a rectangle cut, and then I folded it in half, and then I folded it in half, and then I'm going to fold it over like this, and we're going to tape it down. But you can use ribbon, you can use elastic, can be really handy. You can use whatever you have, and whatever's the right color that you want. So let me grab my tape, and we're going to stick our tab down. So remember, you want the folded side, the loop, to be on your item because it's going to stitch, and then when we turn it right side out, we're going to fold it back like this. So always make sure that you have your loose ends outside of your pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this, and you can toy with the length. It kind of depends on how you hang your stockings in your home. So it's kind of like the hot pad, right? Depending on how you're going to hang it. I like my stockings to have a decent amount of loop there to hang more so than a hot pad, but that's my personal preference. You make it to your personal preference. I'm going to go ahead and tape this both inside the seam line and outside of the seam line. I use masking tape because it's cheaper, and I like to spend my money on fabric. If you use masking tape, don't tape in the seam allowance. You don't want your machine to sew through masking tape because it's not meant for that. Your needles will get all sticky and gross. So our next step is going to be that it's going to tack this down, and then we'll come back and talk about the back. All right, so we've attached our hanging tab here. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this loop off because it was covering my seam allowance here. Now remember, we don't want to tape masking tape in the seam allowance. It may still help to tape this down a little bit. This could spring up a little bit while you're sewing. My machine doesn't care. Yours might not either, but I always keep it taped down a little bit just in case. So our last stitch is going to be the back. So this is an item that we turn right side out. So you want to make sure that you're putting right sides together. So I have my same cute little trucks, and I'm going to go ahead and place this on the back. So I want to double check and make sure that all my areas have a seam allowance. You want at least 1/4 inch, and I've got plenty because I cut my pieces pretty wide. So I'm not going to line up my fabric on this one. Sometimes you might want to do that and have it look a little bit nicer. I'm not going to because they're not going to line up anyway. But the next thing we're going to do is it's going to stitch it down all the way, and then we will go ahead and turn it right side out and see what it looks like. All right, our stitching is done. So this is a super quick design. It has like 6 steps. You can make 10 in an afternoon for every dog on your street. This is the kind of, I call them like tack off points. I'm not sure what the technical term is, but that's how you know where your turn hole is going to be. So I've been making Parker on the Porch designs for a long time, so I always know exactly which fabrics we have to keep long because that's where our turn hole is going to be. But if you're just learning that, then you can just kind of check. So thumb through the pile here. So we see here's the hole, okay? So then I know that this fabric is going to attach to this fabric, and those I need to keep a little bit longer. So remember that when you're cutting out your design, that this is where you'll need the chunk of fabric to enclose your seam. So what I typically do when cutting out a round design is I kind of come in with my scissors, and first I cut here so I know where not to cut really close. So I cut just inside those, and then I will pull out my 2 fabrics that I need to keep longer. So in this case, it's this one, this back fabric, and then this pocket fabric here. And then I will kind of hold those aside while I start to cut out everything else. So since this is a rounded shape, I use my pinking shears. And actually, this is my old pair, and they're kind of dull. I don't know where my newer pair is. I'll probably have to order another pair. But I will go around, and I will start here, and I'll cut right here just so I know that I don't accidentally cut these too short where you can't finish your thing. And if you do, it happens. You might be able to save it, but it's a lot easier if you don't cut that. So I use my pinking shears to cut around my dog bone. You want about a 1/4 inch of a seam allowance. And again, these are kind of dull, so it's going to be a little bit more frustrating today than it should be. But that's okay, because this was like a 5-minute embroidery project, so I'm not frustrated yet. It's going to be a little harder to cut around where you have that tab, so just push really hard. Okay, and then here we go. And I'll come back and I'll clip my corners there in just a minute. I just need a different pair of scissors for that. So remember to leave about a 1/4 inch of a seam allowance. If you don't get it exactly right, it's totally fine. Doesn't matter. All right, so here we go. We're almost done. I know this part's really boring, but okay, there we go. And you know what? I don't have my little scissors here. So what I like to do now is, now that I have these two left, and I know that these need to be about a 1/2 inch, right? So I'm going to use this seam tape right here. And this is not an iron-on one. And you could use an iron-on one if you're using fabrics that can be ironed. I'm not going to. I'm going to use this sticky one that Jen likes to use on her bags. I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry. So then the first thing we'll do is we'll start to turn our thing right side out. Actually, just kidding. First, we're going to clip our little corners right here. And I don't know if this actually helps, but I think it does a little bit. So I'm going to cut here. Don't cut into the seam, okay? Just cut to leave a little bit. There you go. And it's hard to tell in the video, but I just cut a little bit there. So I think it's called notching, the more I think about it. All right, so we're going to turn it right side out. And the smaller ones are a little harder to turn, just like with everything else. You can take this tape off. All right, and let's keep turning. Okay, here we go. So I have my favorite turning tool here. So I'm going to poke in here gently. Don't go crazy. Just poke in there gently. I'm using a rounded edge here to do that. So there. And so since we clipped those corners, I do think it's a little bit tighter right there. So I think that was the right call. Glad I did that. All right, so let's keep turning this right side out. All right, so here we go. So what we'll do now is, this is where our seam hole is. So it's already turned itself the right way, which is great. So we would cut our tape and we'd put it right here. I'm going to skip that for right now just so we can see the final product. So you could leave it like this if you wanted to. I mean, it's kind of cute. I don't want to though. I want the pocket on the back. So I'm going to flip it one more time through the pocket. This is why it's so important that you don't get your pocket sewn down all the way, or it won't look good. All right, so pardon me here while we poke out these rounded edges once again. Okay, so here's my teeny tiny dog stocking, and then let's iron it real quick and see what it looks like. So, all right, here I got my iron. Oh, it looks really cute. And now you could put a name on this if you wanted to. I didn't on this one because I might want to give it away later, or I might want to do something else with it. So I didn't put a name on it. You can just put it on before you put on the pocket. And you can see here, I didn't turn out my corner all the way. So I'm going to pull that out a little bit, smooth it out so it's nice and round. Oh, well, that looks really cute. Look at that. Okay, so now I have this cute little set of stockings for my very bad dog. I'm going to try and put a picture of him in this video if I can figure out how to do it so you can see him, because he's so cute. Then you'll understand why I had to make him 2 little stockings. But these are really great. And then these are part of a Fat Quarter Pack for Fat Quarter Friday that Jen is doing. Just these really cute Christmas dog designs. And, you know, I'm a VIP, so I got the big pack. But if you are too, you can buy it tomorrow from Parker on the Porch. So here's our quick little stocking. You can always ask questions in our Facebook group if you need help, or ask them on the YouTube video and someone will help you. And I can't wait to see what you make. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you next week.